Weird. The 4K video counts in fractions of a second. Oh, tenths. Too fancy for me, man. Too fancy for me. So, I think I may have uploaded a video and said it was 4K when it wasn't 4K. My wife had fixed the settings, but I wasn't sure as the Pacifics or Atlantics of what she had done. So I apologize if something said 4K and it was only 1080p. I'm now doing the live streams in 720, and I'm going to try to do more 4K videos, actual 4K videos. But otherwise, they'll just be in 1080. Very least 720, because that's the lowest resolution this new camera does. So anyways, I guess I better get a move on, both because of the horrific upload size of videos like this, and also because you ever thought your phone was charging but the other end of the charger wasn't plugged into the power strip? Yeah. I was waiting to do a video, and then I realized that this wasn't doing shit. So now I'm just going to do a shorter video than I had in mind. But I guess, you know, the fact that it's 4K balances out, because I'm sure it's like 100 megs already. So anyways, let me be perseverant and expedite these proceedings with all due diligence and whatnot by taking a sip of coffee. And speaking of coffee, you know who else likes coffee? Mike Paletta. In fact, I find he and a lot of really old school and veteran and really smart people. Maybe I just find them smart because I agree with them, or they agree with me. But I find a lot of these guys, there's Mike Paletta right there, and big boy from Aquarium Co-op, master of freshwater right there. Things like encouraging microbubbles in your reef. Oh. And I tried to do Mike Paletta a favor a while back and, you know, keep him from having to suck on tubes by showing him that you could take one of these guys and just bend this with one hand and then suck out with the other a couple times, and you can restart one of them siphons. No problem. So anyways, I'll talk more about Mike Paletta in a second. But first, while I got the 4K going and they're all in one spot, good morning. My, stay in the photo, my, stay in the frame, my. This is not food. I cannot feed you my camera, my. Oh, the camera wants to go into low power mode. I guess I better get a move on. So anyways, Mike Paletta seems to have a lot of similar opinions on things as far as nutrient levels in the systems go. Now, granted, I keep my nutrient levels higher than even I want to. And, you know, he has single corals that are worth my entire setup. But the idea of the electrostatically clean reef. Well, it was kind of a myth to begin with. I felt like I was speaking with a lisper a second. A myth to begin with. Anyways. Let's see, Mr. Mike. I don't know if I should call you Mr. He says he's been in this since 1991. Oh. Makes me a couple years your senior in the hobby. I still got more of my hair. So me and my dad started building tanks together in 1987. And we had one freshwater tank fail and then immediately went to saltwater. We just threw too much shit in there. We needed a bigger tank and we needed it to be saltwater because freshwater sucks anyway. We started with a 10-gallon saltwater tank, of course, because we just converted the first one. And it wasn't long before that 10-gallon became the sump of, as far as I know, one of the first reef cubes in, at least in Texas. We were living in Houston at the time. And it was about maybe 65 gallons. And we just had a chock full of fish, had a Nassau tank, fed it bloodworms, fed a Nassau tank, bloodworms. Yeah. We didn't know what phosphates were. But anyways, the reason I'm making this video is because I'm kind of stuck. I've got literally a notebook filled with, I'd want to say, groundbreaking inventions and almost an entirely patentable business in a box sort of thing that involves breeding and selling fish from the same facilities, including aquaculturing coral and, of course, plants. You can see I like the plants. If I can get my one hand to stop shaking there. You can't tell me that that is not nice. And of course, why doesn't anybody use these clever oceanscape backgrounds? I mean, when you're sitting on your couch and that's what the top of the water looks like. Ah, stupid overflow box. So anyways, I can't believe this video is still actually recording. But I wanted to get down to the point of my reach out to Mike Paletta. Now, I'm going to send some emails to a company that I just realized was fairly local to me. I'm going to try to get them to pick me up. But I'm hoping to get in contact with Mike Paletta sooner, because I really appreciate his contributions to the hobby. And I really, really appreciate his talks. I just got done watching him speak for an hour. And I wanted to offer him the opportunity to fund my business, basically. How nice of me to allow you to fund my business. I don't know if my face is 4K worthy, but I still do have some hair. Anyways. The other reason is this. Instead of complaining about environmentalists, why don't we, as a community, start stomping our feet and praising ourselves and proclaiming ourselves to be the environmentalists? Okay? I mean, speak hyperbolically about ourselves in praise of environmentally conscious politicians, whether they be Republicans or Democrats. We can be the true environmental police. Think about that. Every one of us, as a veteran reef hobbyist any veteran reef hobbyist, has as much authority to analyze the climate as any scientist, and especially as any pundit political activist. So, if you're wondering whether or not reefers should be on the left or the right, well, paper or plastic? It's the center. That's the strength of our country. That's the strength of the reefing community. And that's the strength that we need to actually save this planet and save our oceans. Save this planet by saving our oceans. And Mr. Paletta, one of the things I'd really like your help with, and what I think you might find this worthwhile, is my plan is to use primarily true percula breeding and anemone propagation, among other things, to fund and provide a food source for a massive mangrove growing operation, which is included in the structure plans. Basically like free space, free fertilizer, and a lot of free lighting, all included in the building plans. All as cheap as a former homeless guy could possibly design them. Former homeless guy. Okay? So for the price of a few of your corals, Mr. Paletta, you could, and this is what I want your help with, help save the coast of Louisiana and possibly restore the Gulf of Mexico itself to its original pristine condition. And in fact, I think we can get the entire Gulf of Mexico looking better than anyone can imagine it. And it's all going to start with restoring the coasts of Louisiana and other areas where rivers are letting out phosphates that keep the wetlands from being able to grow as fast as they can. We need to augment the species dispersion as well as find ways to cooperate with private and public infrastructure to use calcium carbonate boulders in the fresh water of these rivers to supplement better algae to help clean up our oceans, to help clean up our beaches, to help clean up our favorite diving spots. And well, I think the Gulf of Mexico and all the different states that surround it could very much benefit from the tourism boost. Just imagine if all those places could set up little dive spots. Just imagine if all those places had more colorful things to look at. Beaches that didn't have silt all over them. And better yet, just imagine if next time there was a hurricane that hit Louisiana, it ran into a wall of mangrove trees instead of trodden over a bunch of wet grass. Now, the idea is quite simple. And sure, it's going to take years, decades. But we only got one planet. And there's only one world ocean. And this Gulf of Mexico that we have, well, it needs to be where we start. And we as Americans need to take our mantle and set an example for other polluting port areas and show them what reef keepers, what responsible, knowledgeable, at-home scientists, and that's kind of what we are, can contribute to making this world a better place. I think we can do it. But I can't do it alone on this YouTube channel. I need the help of somebody like you, Mr. Paletta. So, get in touch, man. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you found this little speech of mine motivational and inspiring and whatnot. And if you like the pretty view of my fish tanks, or, you know, didn't mind me blabbering my jaw too much, hit the like button and go ahead and make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.